Hey guys, I'm Allison. I'm the Pampered Wife. I have tried to film this video at least 4 times now. I have taken all this makeup back and forth to the mountains. You have no idea what I've gone through. There is now a locksmith here working and drilling. We are filming this, okay? This is my video of rose ink. I'm gonna play clips of me applying all the makeup. I actually do not have it on today, but you will see it on my face. I've got a whole box of goodies here. We have the foundation. We've got a full size of the foundation as well as 2 other shades to swatch. We have a lip shade, a blush, a concealer, a brow product. We have an eyeshadow. Like I said, this video has not wanted to get filmed. My face today and the lighting is not so important as the lighting in the demo that I've done and the lighting in the swatches when I show you the packaging, which I will do in natural light. So, rose ink, if you don't know, was started by Rosie Huntington, a very famous model. So what some of the enclosed material says is extraordinary, effective, and effortless, non-comedogenic formulas, instant results, multi-purpose products, 5+ skin nourishing ingredients per product. Ecological, clean and clinically proven, skin beneficial ingredients. My dog is drinking. Visible results, safe synthetic ingredients that meet rigorous standards, super and natural, sensual and sustainable. It's vegan and cruelty free, carbon neutral shipping, recyclable glass bottles, refillable packaging, 25% post-consumer recycled plastic in products, and FSC certified paper cartons printed with soy-based ink. So this line is designed to be clean, effective, and environmentally conscious, which I appreciate all those things. It is, to my knowledge, only sold on Rose Ink's website and at Sephora, where it is clean at Sephora. I haven't done a deep dive into the ingredients, so if that's something you're concerned about, I recommend that you do that. Let's start off with their foundation, or her foundation, which is called the Skin Enhance Luminous Tinted Serum. It's $59 and there are 14 shades. This is a skin tint, so the exact shade isn't necessarily necessary. I'll show you some swatches after I show the demo of me applying it, and we talk about it a little, so you can see what the shade up and the shade down look like on my skin. I have the shade 50. It's described as a weightless, radiant tinted serum that plumps and smooths while delivering a sheer skin-like finish. The claims are that it's light coverage, which I completely agree. It's very light on the skin. It blends out really nicely. It's it's lightweight coverage as well as light coverage. It is a skin tint. I wouldn't call it a foundation, but it definitely has a blurring quality. I think it looks really nice on the skin. I actually purchased a full size because I like the way it works so well. The first ingredient is water, so again, it is going to be a lighter formula. It claims that it has a radiant finish, which I agree. It's not dewy and it's not matte. It's absolutely a skin-like, beautiful, radiant finish. It claims that it's hydrating. Maybe. I mean, I have skincare on underneath this. I'm not relying on it for hydration, but it certainly does not dry my skin out. And the last claim is that it evens out all skin tones without clogging pores. I mean, it definitely does some evening out. That's about all it does. And so far it has not clogged my pores. So I think it follows through on all the claims. My dog is now right here because I'm sitting on the floor. All right, this one, like all of her products, is vegan and cruelty-free, but this one also happens to be gluten-free and does come in recyclable packaging. It's glass. Here's the shade 50, which is on my face. It feels like a gel, even though the first ingredient is water, or maybe that's what gels are. It is very thin and gel-like, takes a while to get it to dry down. But you can see I actually got quite a bit of coverage on my arm, and it's drying down. I'm going to show you the two other shades that I have here. It's a little windy, so you're hearing the trees rustle, but I wanted to show you this in natural light. So here is a trial size of the shade 60. And these trial sizes, by the way, are pretty sufficient. They'll last for quite a few days or even longer, depending on how much you use. But here's the shade 60. See, that time I didn't get very many of the pigments. I got a lot of the skincare and gel. And I use either my finger or a brush with this. I don't like to use a sponge, but I'm not a big sponge user anyway. So you can see how watery this is and how you've really kind of got to rub it in. That'll dry down. And then I also purchased shade 40, which I thought was going to be my shade originally. I think I'll shake it. I'm going to put this on the other side of shade 50, which is what I'm wearing. It's really cool how these pigments burst as you rub them. The Say Sun Visor has the same, in my opinion, kind of technology with the pigment suspended in the cream, or in that case, the sunscreen. Here I think we can see the differences between 40, which is just paler, 50, which is pink, and 60, which is warmer and deeper. So I believe this is my shade. I hope this is helpful. It does have some radiance. This one still. Actually, this is about dried down too. So you can see the radiance. I don't think this has done wonders to make my skin look hydrated and plumped at all. So I do recommend putting something moisturizing on underneath. The next product is the Soft Light Dewy Concealer, Dewy Hydrating Concealer. This one is $30 and comes in 18 shades. So there are more shades in this product than there are in the foundation, and that's because this one is more opaque. You do need to get a better match. You'll see that when I'm applying it. So this one claims to be a buildable, non-comedogenic concealer that visibly brightens, blurs, and contours while nourishing skin with hydrating squalane and protective vitamin E. So the claim is that it's medium to full coverage depending on how you build it up. I agree with that. I think it's at least medium coverage, like the very least. The first ingredient of this product is also water, so it does work well with foundation. When a product's first ingredient is water, you want to pair it with water-based ingredients, or at least let it settle down, really dry down all the way on the skin before you go in with oil-based products, and that's to avoid pilling. So back to the coverage. Yes, medium to full coverage. I completely agree. Again, radiant finish, and I agree. I do actually like to apply a light dusting of powder. It doesn't feel at all tacky or thick on the skin, even though it looks really thick. From that point of view, I don't need to powder it, but from the point of view of it being so radiant, I don't like radiance right under my eyes. I think that accentuates the bags under my eyes, and that is why I powder it. Hydrating, again, I don't rely on my concealer for hydration. I always moisturize underneath. And long wearing, I would agree it's pretty long wearing. This one is also recyclable packaging because it's glass. So here is the foundation. This for me, as you can see, is quite messy. I like the glass packaging. I love the rounded top, that it goes very cohesively with the branding. It is the same shade, and the glass packaging, which is frosted. It all goes together. Again, I love that. However, I don't know why this formula is so messy. It's like a lip gloss, just gotten all over the outside. It is a huge applicator compared to other applicators. You can see compared to my finger how big it is. I think it's pretty darn big. I'm going to put it here on top of where I put the foundation that I'm wearing. This is quite a different shade. Even though this is the shade 50, it looks much less pink than the foundation. And so I like to use a brush to tap it out and then spread it around the edges just to blend it. It's actually not thick, but it looks thick. It definitely gives medium to full coverage. And I've been reaching for it quite a lot. And I actually really like the combination with the foundation being very light coverage and this being more full coverage. It didn't make sense to me at first, but somehow on the face, I feel like it looks like you have less makeup on because you're able to conceal what you want, but then the rest of your face doesn't look all made up. And so it actually is a very nice pulled together look. So there's the finish of the concealer. Let's now talk about the eyeshadow. It comes in the same shaped packaging and also it's refillable just like the cream blush. This is $30 and it comes in 4 different sets. I have the set Satin Olive and Khaki Shimmer. I will include a picture here of what happened as soon as I opened this up upon freshly receiving my package from Rose Inc. Apparently these are very, very soft, and yes, the shimmer, Khaki Shimmer, just all disintegrated. Like I opened this up to take a picture and it all fell out into the sink. Unfortunately, I never got to use that shimmery shade at all because Rose Inc., I don't know if they're having manufacturing problems or what, but they said they were unable to replace it, so they gave me a refund and I think a coupon code, which I immediately used. But anyway, you'll see me applying this both with a brush and with my finger. I prefer to apply it with my finger. I feel like I have more control. I feel like when I use a brush, at least the green shade, which I'm assuming is a different formula from the shimmer shade, is a little patchy and hard to spread out. Here's how it's described. It is a pigment-rich eyeshadow duo in a refillable compact that visibly smooths delicate skin while delivering multi-dimensional looks. The claim is that Khaki has a shimmer finish. We'll assume that it does. The Satin has a satin finish, which I would agree that it does. That's the green one. That it's buildable. Yes, the shade is definitely buildable. I start with it sheer and I do build it up some. You can see even the green is sort of, I don't know if you'd call it shimmery, but it definitely has a gold reflect, which I find really interesting because that makes it multi-dimensional and a little more fun to wear. And then the last claim is that it visibly smooths the lids. Well, I don't think it does that. It definitely creases, but I have a pretty big, fold right here. So I don't know how it's supposed to visibly smooth my lids, but that's the claim. I don't agree with that one. Here's the eyeshadow that I used, Satin Olive and Khaki Shimmer. And it, I think it's sort of a greenish gold, but I never got to try it. I can use this though. It's a weird feeling formula. It almost feels like it should be like the Westman Atelier iPods. Like when you just push, it feels a little maybe tacky, almost cream-like, but like a dry cream. But then when you rub, it feels like a powder. When I run my brush along it, it doesn't want to pick up like a powder. There's no kick up, but at the same time, if I use a brush and put it on, I can get fallout, which is odd. But it is a grayish green that's pretty deep, and then it has those gold reflects that I'm hoping you can see, but I know they came through in the video where I was applying, so I think it's really pretty. I, however, would not pick this up again because I just find it a little too hard to work with and too finicky. Next, I went in with the Cream Blush Refillable Cheek and Lip Color. Now, I have the shade Hibiscus, and it's $30. It comes in 9 shades. Even though the first ingredient of this one is castor oil, it still works beautifully with these products that are water-based. This is described as a cream blush infused with squalane and ceramides to visibly brighten, blur, and hydrate skin with a buildable finish of radiant color. So the claims are that it's richly pigmented, which I would agree. This is definitely a well-pigmented product. Long wearing. For a cream product, it is long wearing. I do find it fades on me throughout the day. Buildable, it is buildable. You definitely can build it up. The more you put on, the more opaque it can become, leaving behind a smooth feel and visible glow. I don't know so much about the feel because I don't want to be wiping my fingers all over my face to see how it feels, but I do think it maybe adds some smoothness a smoothing look or finish to the skin, and it definitely does add a glow. Not anything too dewy. I don't need to powder over it, but it is a nice glow on top that I think is really pretty. I think you can see that. So also that it has a radiant finish and is hydrating again. Here's the blush. It comes in this, yes, toilet seat shaped packaging, but I do think it's nice. It fits nicely with the eyeshadow. They're magnetic, and so they kind of stick together. Plus, I like how I can stand them up in my drawer. You can see I've been using them, they're all dirty. But it actually is quite nice because I can stand them up in my drawer. They're neat, they're compact. I don't know, I like them, and they're not too heavy. They're a matte plastic. So I have this shade Hibiscus. It is refillable. You see the holes you poke something into, like a paper clip that's been opened. And this is the shade, ooh, let's take off the mirror cover. So it's a really nice, usable size of a mirror. It looked a little bit like a suede when I first opened it. I don't think these are cracks. I think those are hairs. That might be a crack, but I believe these are hairs from my makeup brush. Let me go ahead and swatch this. It's just a thicker cream, and I don't like how it feels when I touch it. As I get below the surface, it is creamier and smoother, but this top part is just more dry, and I don't like how it feels. I don't know, it applies beautifully with either a brush or my fingers. So here is the shade Hibiscus. And I have also used it on my lips. It's not particularly moisturizing. And once I apply it, it pretty much, maybe I shear it out a lot, but it pretty much dries down. It doesn't leave any kind of tackiness on my skin. Let's talk about the Brow Renew Clean Tinted Eyebrow Growth Gel. This is $26 and comes in 5 shades. I have the shade 04. It is a tinted eyebrow gel that visibly volumizes and grooms for expertly shaped brows. It also strengthens brow hairs with squalane and vitamin E. So the claims are that it's a natural finish, and I agree. I think it looks totally natural in the brows. Long wearing. It's pretty long wearing. They claim that it sets the brows in place all day. I think it depends on what you're doing. In general, if I don't have my hair rubbing against my brows and I don't, and I'm not trying on clothes, pulling something over my head, yes, it will hold my brows in place for most of the day. It claims to be volumizing, and I agree with that. It doesn't deposit a lot of color, but it does amp up the volume of my brow hairs that are already there. That it's buildable. It is, to an extent, smudge proof and flake proof. Well, it is, once it dries down, it's not smudgy, nor is it flaky. But upon application, you can see I did get some flakes. And that's a real easy fix, even though it's annoying to me that that should happen. I don't feel like that should happen. You just take a spoolie after it's dried down and brush over those spots with a clean spoolie, and those flakes will come right off. The formula is quite wet, and that's why it's even more surprising that it does do some flaking upon application. Here is the brow gel. I have the shade 04. It's called Fill 04. Again, it's the same color as the other packaging. Here is the brush. It's probably average. It's a cone-shaped spiral fiber brush. It's a bit wet, and here is that shade that I have, 04. You can see it doesn't actually deposit a lot of product. More definitely comes off here at the end than anywhere else. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm applying it. There's that shade. I do like the shade. I do like how it looks on my brows. I've been really enjoying it. And if anything, I would say it's close to the Say Brow Gel in the way it looks on the brows, but I do think this is a bit more volumizing. and has a bit more hold than the Say. The Say looks even more natural, but I really liked this one. Now let's talk about the Satin Lip Color Refillable Hydrating Lipstick. This is $28 and it comes in 10 shades, and yes, it is also refillable. It's described as a rich refillable lipstick that delivers lasting weightless color while blurring the appearance of vertical lip lines. The first claim is that it's hydrating. For me, it's not hydrating. I need to apply a lip balm underneath it. I will show you a fully saturated swatch so you can see the shade that it is, because when I apply the lip balm underneath it, of course that shears it out some, and so I'm sorry I did that for the video, but that's the only way I can wear it. I have very dry lips and I live in a dry climate. It also claims it's long wearing. It is pretty long wearing. It does stain the lips some. It's not the longest wearing. Satin finish, which it definitely has, which again, I will show you in just a minute. And it actually contains an extract that I can't really pronounce that blurs the vertical lines in your lips over time. So I'd have to wear it every day for at least 7 days to see that difference. So I cannot say whether or not it does that. It's a nice lipstick. I don't love the shade I happen to get, which is unfortunate. I have the shade Besotted. I think just not quite the right shade for me. That makes a difference with how much I love the lipstick. This also comes in the same rounded and squared packaging. It has a magnetic top. It is also refillable. It's a really nice shade. I think on me, it's just a little too orange, has a little too much warmth to it. I need something with a little more pink, but it's really nice. And the other thing that I want to show you is how versatile this shade is depending on the lip liner. This happens to be the lip liner by Fit Glow in the shade Root. It really deepens the shade. Of course, I'd never have a line this wide. I don't know that I'm doing a good job in showing you this, but then I wanted to show you on the other side, if I use my Fit Glow lip liner in the shade Nude, how it can really soften and lighten it up and give it more of a pink neutral look, or even just overline my lips and make my lips look fuller. I hope that is showing you what I meant to show you. And then of course you see the satin finish. It's really nice. I think it's a beautiful finish. I'm just not a big lipstick wearer. I prefer glosses and hydrating balms. I've had to move again because of the lighting. My nose is all red. My dog is running around with a squeaky toy. You can go ahead and mark this down. This is the worst video ever, and I don't blame you. This is craziness, but I wanted to let you know my final thoughts on Rose Inc. I think some of the products are winners and some are okay. I don't think any of the products I've tried are bad. She does also make a bronzer and a highlighter, neither of which really appealed to me. The bronzer, from what I've seen, is quite orange, and I just have highlighters that I love already and didn't need another one. So here's my final takeaway. The skin tint is a lovely, lightweight, skin blurring finish. If you're interested in something like that, I wouldn't rely on it for the skincare benefits. You do need to moisturize underneath, but it wears nicely. I think it's a great product, obviously. I think the concealer might be their best product. It absolutely has a creamy finish with medium to full coverage. It does crease some, but I have that issue with everything because I have quite deep lines under my eyes. I just try not to put it too much in the crease. I think that is one that actually has the coverage that I've been looking for in the clean beauty space that I haven't been able to find, so I do recommend that one. The eyeshadow I would skip if it's so soft that it's gonna fall apart when you open it, and then the green one is so difficult to work with. I have to use my fingers, using a brush. I feel like I don't have any control and it's patchy. I would just skip that. They have other shades. Maybe the other shades perform differently. I really don't know. You can let us know in the comments section if you find that that is the case. I really enjoy the brow product. I could see purchasing it again. I have enjoyed it. It really follows through on all the claims. I don't know about the growth, if it helps your brows grow, but I feel like every clean beauty brow product at this point claims that as well. Oh, she does also make a mascara that I've not tried, the blush and the lipstick. The blush is nice. I don't find it to be nicer than the other cream blushes that are out there. Maybe over time I'll change my mind. And so that product is perfectly fine. And the lipstick, same thing. I'm not much of a lipstick wearer. I much prefer the 100% pure lipsticks. They're matte lipsticks I find more moisturizing than this one. And then they have these pomegranate lipsticks that are like lip balms. But this does have its place. It's a satin finish. It's nice. There are some other shades. I wouldn't be opposed to trying more, but I'm not typically reaching for a lipstick. And I did get some of the Merit lipsticks. I'm going to be trying those out soon. Please accept my apologies for the state of this video. It was crazy. I hope this doesn't dissuade you from watching more of my videos. I hope the content was helpful. Please give this video a thumbs up if it was. Leave me a comment, but be nice. And everything will be listed in the description box down below. As always, I hope you find some time to pamper yourself today. Bye.